Water is life. Do just one thing.
Every job call. Make sure you check for leaks around your house every day. Every job call. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water. Preserve the water. The water right now. Every job call. Save the water. Whenever you take in your shower. Every job call. Make saving the water. Your business every hour. The water. Right now. It's up to me and you and you and you and you. The water right now.
Do just one thing.
A pleasant good morning to all our listeners in Radioland. Those of you in tune to us via radio, YouTube, and Facebook, welcome to another edition of The Waterline. The Waterline is a radio program brought to you by the St. Kitts Water Services Department. The Waterline is brought to you every second and fourth Wednesday of each month. I am Shireen Warner, and I have the pleasure of taking you through today's show. Today we will focus on customer service. Today in studio I have three individuals with me from the Customer Service Division of the Water Services Department. I will have them introduce themselves, starting with the gentleman immediately next to me.
Good morning. My name is Brent Lapsey. I'm the Customer Services Manager at the Water Services Department.
Good morning to everyone in Radioland. My name is Makeda Collins. I'm the Customer Service Supervisor in the Customer Service Division.
Good morning to everyone. My name is Deborah Keynes. I'm the Billing Supervisor in the Customer Service Division.
Okay, welcome ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Lapsey, as the Customer Service Manager, can you give us some insight, an overview rather, of the Customer Services Division? What do you do?
Okay. This division deals with inquiries, metering, bill payments. We also have a technical crew that deals with replacing, disconnecting meters, lifting meters, and conducting on-site investigations.
Okay. Sounds simple, but it's a lot.
Yes.
But we'll get into all of that further in our conversation. Let's start from the beginning. After someone gets a connection, a water connection, for the customers, the process begins at the meter. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so after someone gets their connection and all of that, they get the meter installed. The meter is crucial to the entire customer service experience. Tell us how often the meters are read. Do you have like a schedule in place?
Well, the meters are read monthly. Every month, a meter reader go out in different areas and they read meters and bring back that information to the office, and that information we use for billing purposes.
Okay, so persons who may not be aware or they're not confident that we actually do readings, how can we advise them? How can they find out who reads in the area, or when is the area, what day in the week the area is read, etc.?
Well, there is a reading schedule online, so that you can go on the website and they will see when a meter reader will come in the area.
And that's www.water.gov.kn. Okay.
Water.services@gov.kn.
Okay. So, as it relates to the meters, is there a standard placement for the meters? Perhaps the department has some sort of rule 3 feet away from the fence or the perimeter of the property. What is there any standard rule you have for placing the meters? And I have a reason for asking this. I promise you, I will get into that.
Okay. When we put down a meter, most times for water meters, water meter is put on a empty piece of land because there's no house, nothing. So the meter is put there. After the property is built, then they still have the meter where it's at, And at that point, that is where the meter reader will be expected to read that meter. If, for whatever reason, that meter becomes inaccessible to the meter reader, then that is a different situation where we have to now find out what is the reason why the meter reader cannot access that meter.
You're actually taking the conversation exactly where I wanted us to go. Funny that you mentioned inaccessibility. So what happens in instances where the meter reader cannot access the meter? And when you say they can't access it, things like what actually prevent the meter reader from being able to access?
One, you could have, during the construction, you probably saw aggregates on the meter. Two, after your construction, you plant your flowers or maybe a little vegetable garden. They go up over the meter. You have dogs, cannot come in the yard to read the meter. Some people, the meter might end up outside of their fences, and then you put your garbage pan on it. So the meter reader still cannot read the meter, and in a case like that now, we are forced to estimate your reading.
Gotcha. So, and when you say estimate, give us a little bit of guidance as to how you come up with the estimation. What do you do to estimate?
What we do for the estimation is that we use the last 3 actual readings, divide that by 3, and use that reading for the reading for that month in order to estimate it.
Okay. So you spoke to, in terms of inaccessibility, you mentioned things like aggregates, shrubs, and I mean, sometimes, people think they're beautifying the area. Of course, they're not ill-intended at all when they do that. Maybe they place their dog there, of course, that's for security purposes, but they don't foresee that it's a hindrance to the meter reader. So we'd hope that customers will take those things into consideration, having heard that. But what can they do in terms of relocating the meter? I know that, of course, I can't just go out into my yard and relocate my meter. How do I go about that process if I want my meter relocated?
To relocate your meter, you can contact customer service. So you can either come or you call and request your meter to be relocated. Like Mr. Lapsy mentioned, we have the workmen, we have a technical team that goes out and they would do an investigation, because yes, we understand that sometimes we need to relocate your meter, but it is not all the time. It is possible based on how the plumbing is done. So they will have to go out and do an investigation, and then they will let us know whether or not you can relocate your meter. We advise that all of the meters come outside of the fencing so that the meter readers would have access to read your meter. For example, if you have dogs, you can't relocate your dogs. You can't ask someone to hold your dogs for you. So for situations like that, we place the meter on the outside, so we don't need to call or try to find other means and ways of getting into the yard.
Okay. Is there a charge associated? Of course, the customers are interested to know that. Would I be charged to relocate the meter?
So it is case by case. Relocation of meter is case by case. That information would be provided to you after the investigation is done.
When you say case by case, what do you mean exactly?
Well, what we want to do that the main reason for the relocation have to be for accessibility, for us to get the proper reading, because we don't want to have to estimate somebody's reading. Sometimes it can be advantageous and disadvantageous to have an estimation. We want to know that the water you're using, you use water you're paying for. Because sometimes, for example, your last 3 readings might have been high for whatever reason. You were doing some construction in your house, or you was doing something, and then now we have to use that, and that may be not in your advantage because you're actually paying more than what you're using now, because before you were doing more things and now you're just going through your normal use of doing your daily stuff. So it can go both ways. So we prefer to have an actual reading that we can use to get the proper reading and proper charges for the customers.
And that makes absolute sense. So now, speaking of usage and your actual consumptions and how much you're paying, now we have some customers, they get used to paying a very nominal fee, because water is affordable. We're proud to say that to some extent, that water is very affordable here in St. Kitts. Some persons, they've gotten used to paying a very nominal charge of $25 or $30. Then suddenly you see a spike in your water bill. You know, you're rushing. Something obviously is wrong. I mean, somebody who is in there behind that computer, the maths ain't adding up. Because, of course, we never think that the issue is us. Give us some guidance or some steps that we can take at home to rule out everything to ensure that there's no plumbing issue like a leak at home before we come in and start a ruckus.
Okay, first and foremost, we asking the customers to please open your bills every month when you get them, because not opening your bill, you are missing the opportunity to know if you have a leak or if something is off. So, open your bill at the end of the month. Every time you get a bill, open it. And then when you open the bill, the first place your eye is supposed to hit is consumption. And from the time you see the consumption, the next place your eye is going is money. So, just so that the customers them understand, the consumption, which is the usage of the water, turns into money.
Yes.
So, the higher the consumption, the more money that you're going to pay. So please open your bills when you get them at the end of the month.
And the bill shows you your history so that you're able to tell over the last 3 cycles I used this and this amount of gallons. So I'm able to tell, well, something is obviously wrong because I was using 500 gallons and then now I'm using 8. So obviously the issue isn't the department, but something on my end that has caused overusage. So how can I at home? I am not a plumber, but I suspect that something has gone wrong. Something is amiss. How can I, before I decide to open my wallet and pay a plumber, I want to be able to check for myself at first. How can I tell that I have a leak? Give me some little tips and tricks that you guys have, that you guys would recommend that persons use.
I normally like to recommend that at the beginning, in the morning, after everybody finish using water, the last person leaving the house, you come out and you either take a picture. Everybody have smartphones now. You either take a picture of the meter reading or you write it down. Whoever comes home first in the afternoon or evening, before you turn on any pipe, take another picture right after reading, and then you could look at it and you will see, because if there isn't a leak, the reading that you took in the morning is supposed to be the same reading that you meet in the afternoon. Any changes indicates that something is wrong.
Okay. And that makes sense, because it means you would have used no water because you would have been out all day.
All day.
So the reading not staying the same, the reading changing, means that some sort of leaking is continuing to happen while you're out.
Yes.
Okay, that makes absolute sense. Any other way we can determine if there's a leak?
Check your toilets. Some toilets make sound, some don't. But you keep checking your toilets. The little drips that come from the pipe. Some people say, that little drip could cause that, but I tell them, put a bucket on it. And you see how quick that bucket fill. And if that bucket is a 5-gallon bucket, that's 5 gallons of water dripping all the time, and plus what you're using. So everything adds up. So you could check those little things. And the areas in your yard, if you have pipes running in your yard, we have drought season now, the rain come in. You see an area close to the house or in the yard and the area stays green. Something is wrong if you're not watering it all the time. So you could start digging there. Chances are you probably have a leak somewhere in the area.
Also too, you can look at the meter, make sure no pipe is on or anything running in your house. Look at the meter and observe for maybe a couple of minutes to see if the numbers are moving. If they're moving and no pipe is on in your house, nothing is running, that means you definitely have a leak inside.
Okay, so ideally the number should remain static.
Because no water should be flowing to the meter at the
And
time.
at the same time, in that case, sometimes if the leak is not a heavy leak, after a few minutes wouldn't do. So you probably have to give it maybe an hour or so. Because sometimes if you take a heavy leak, it ain't going to turn over as fast as if it's a real.
So you have to give it
Give it
a few
some time.
moments
Yes.
for accuracy's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go to the lines and see if we have any callers. If we don't have any callers, we'll continue our conversation. And it doesn't seem like we have any callers, so we continue on the conversation on leaks. Now I know the department has an ongoing quest to detect leaks, going out and assisting persons to rectify the leaks. Have the leaks, or has it been proven at all that there were sufficient leaks that they were causing the department losses? Has this program been proven successful?
Yes, so far it has. We have had on-site visits as well. We went through the system and we look at customers with high usages, and we sent letters to them notifying them both non-domestic and domestic that we realize that you have high usage over a period of maybe 3-4 months or more. So please check your properties or get a plumber to see if you have any leaks, or you can contact the department if you're unable to do so, and we can come out and do an on-site visit. If leaks are detected and you get those leaks fixed, we do offer adjustments to customers for a period up to 6 months, but we have to make sure that the investigation proves that you really had a leak, and we'll assist customers in getting that rectified by doing an adjustment and encourage them to continue practicing steps to conserve water.
Just to clarify, if the leak is a fault of theirs, or if...
Well, most of the time, because sometimes the customers don't even know, because, as we said earlier, sometimes they don't open their bills. Sometimes, for example, we have customers, they use, not a good practice, but they try to pay annually, because they figure, I live alone, so you just give me a loan, so my bill should be $20. So they come in December with a check for $240. When they get the receipt, they have a balance of, say, maybe $1,200. They want, like, how come I have this balance of, should be $20? But when you check, no, you had leaks, but you weren't paying attention to your bill. You didn't see where there was an increase, say, from June down to December, where there was an increase in your usage because you had leaks. They go to check and they say, well, you were correct, we did have leaks. And so we say, once you practice checking your bill, checking your usage, as we mentioned before, you will see, well, hey, how come I'm using more than last month? What was I doing? It looks too significant to be, maybe I wash a couple of times more. That's to be I have a leak somewhere, so I need to get a plumber and check it and get it rectified. And as we say, every job counts.
Every job counts.
And on the other hand, it could be a case where, lucky for you, your meter was not working for quite a while, so you was just getting a bill for the minimum base. But then you didn't even realize that we changed the meter. So now, because you're not opening your bill, you don't realize that you're now paying for the water that you actually use. We are now billing you for usage because your meter was changed and you're not paying $20 anymore.
Okay. So in the initial payment, what they thought would have been the nominal charge,
$20.
I'm just using a little bit of water, paying my fee to match. They didn't realize that now that the meter would have been fixed, it would be reflecting their actual consumption, and therefore there'll be a spike. But had they checked the bill, they would have realized. So it's important to check your bill, essentially. Check your bill.
Check your bills. Open your bills.
And pay them on time. Don't just check them, but Mr. Lapsy is adding an important one. They need to pay them on time. Pay them on time.
As we say, I always say, water is life and water is very important. That should be the most important bill that you're paying, because you depend on water so heavily for your life. So I know it's a minimal bill, but at least it's your lowest bill, so this should be your first, bill. You'll say, hey, let me pay my water bill so I have water. I can enjoy using the water, then you go to your other bill, because this is the most important bill you have.
Okay, we seem to have a caller on the line, so we're gonna pause on our conversation and we're gonna hear from our callers. Caller, welcome to the water line.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Your point.
Morning.
one. I heard you said something that normally when you go to make a connection, it's on an empty plot, and you put it meter wherever, and then you either can't find the meter, etc., etc. If you're going on an empty plot, one of the things you should contact with the householder, homeowner, is exactly a rough sketch of the plan, so that you would know that you don't put the meter perhaps in the driveway or something like that. That's one of the things I observed when you were speaking. Another thing is, a lot of time y'all don't send out the bills on time. And if there's a problem, the consumer would not know. Up to recently, I had that situation where I tried to get my bills every month. No bills were sent out. When I went back, the price they gave me, I was like, what? So when this problem started, so I must pay for that excess water now because I was not notified that there was a problem. Had I known there was a problem, it would have saved me some money to pay a plumber to come in, whether $50 or whatever, rather than the $600-700 that I was taxed with. Another thing is that we are in the drought season, so to speak, and there are so many persons continue to wash vehicles, water plants, wash down porch, wash down this, and you, on the other hand, saving the water, not because you don't want to pay for it, but because there's a shortage, and others are using it lavishly. Is there some place that it can be reported and somebody could come and check and see when this is done and this sort of thing? I've listened off here.
Okay, caller, thanks for your questions. I think we might want to start where you ended. We appreciate your concerns for us. But let's hear from, I think we have another caller or two. Let's hear from them and then we'll respond accordingly.
And hello, good morning.
Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Waterline.
Yes, very good program. Timely program and very good program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the tips you all give, very timely in terms of, if there's so many persons guilty of it, they do not check the bills. And it just amazes me that, every time I get a bill, I want to make sure what I'm paying for, and as you rightly say, I want to look at the consumption. That is important for me personally. But you just have some people in the bad habit, they have bills pile up, and they don't know what's going on, and then come to the end, they quarrel with everybody. It is important that you check your bills. And the next thing you all spoke about, which is about person need to understand at the end of the day, in terms of leaks, you check these because if you have a leak and you're checking your bills, you must have to have some kind of realization something is wrong. So the tips that, as I said, the tips that you all gave is just timely. In relation to the person that called a while ago, what to me is alarming, and I remember the former minister, General Bishan, spoke about it. I wonder how come some persons can be paying minimum, just join a reference, maybe $30, and then they can owe $2,000 and those kind of things. So somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do, and then you find maybe other persons suffer because of that. So these are things you all need to definitely look into. And the gentleman just a while ago, he couldn't put it better. Water is life. And his amazing person will buy clothes, but they don't care about the water bill. And it's only when you lose it, then you realize how important. I do not like to be without water. I could go without electricity, but not water. Water is really essential. So I'm going to give somebody a next opportunity to call in also. But it's a great program. Keep the program coming and continue to feed us with the information because you all are the expert, so we depend on you all. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, too.
Thank you, caller. Do we have any other callers on the line?
Yeah.
Hi, caller. Good morning. Welcome to the Waterline.
Good morning.
Go right ahead, caller.
How are we going to get the bills then?
Sorry, repeat?
How are we going to get bills?
Okay, thank you. We'll respond accordingly.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with the first caller. Of course, we want to thank the caller for being a good steward for water, looking out and realizing that in some instances we have a lot of wastage, and we appreciate you for recognizing the need to conserve, and we encourage you to, when you see it, to notify us, notify the department, as well as you encourage your neighbor. If you have a good relationship with them, of course, you try to tell them, you know, this is not the wise way to go, and to encourage them to use the water more sparingly. Now, the caller also spoke to the location of the meter. I think it was Miss Keynes in her introduction, in speaking of placement of water. She said that, you know, when there's a plot of land without any construction or prior to construction, that the meter is placed. I don't think she meant that it's placed any and anywhere, but I'll allow Miss Keynes to clarify on that. And then the caller also spoke about the timeliness of the receipt of bill, and I want one of you to clear the air on that as well. So, Miss Keynes?
Okay, when I spoke about putting the meter on a plot of land, most time they will tell us, the customer will tell us where they want the meter put, but at the same time, the meter is there, but when they start construction, the meter doesn't matter anymore. They throw the aggregates on it, they throw the trash on it, they throw everything on it, and then they build the construction, they did the construction. Sometimes you will be surprised to know that sometimes after billing, you can't find the meter.
Okay, so the caller was suggesting that sometimes the meter is placed in odd areas. Is there any sort of liaison going on between the homeowner to see the plan to say, okay,
yes,
it would be wise to place it here versus here?
Yes.
That happens.
That happens,
okay.
But it's still...
So it's not necessarily an issue that the meter ends up in any place where it is constructed on. It's more inaccessibility from stuff being placed on it.
Yes.
Just to clarify.
Try our best to have the meters placed where they can be accessible to the meter readers.
Okay.
As much as possible.
Okay. So maybe there's a need for it's really the responsibility of the homeowners
to make sure
that
the meters are clear at all time.
Okay. I hope that clarifies that for that caller. The timeliness of receipt of bills.
During the COVID, we ran into a little problem where we ran out of paper bills, and the company said they were backed up. So we really and truly did not send out bills for, I think it's what, 2-3 months? For 3 months, which now I'm going to apologize to the public for not notifying them. But we've gotten bill heads, and we are back on track. But in the meantime, we were asking the public to send us emails, and we will send you your e-bill so that you still have a bill coming to you for those who are tech savvy. And for those who are not tech savvy, you can still come to the department, whether it's at the post office or Needmus, and you could ask for a handwritten bill, or you just go to the cashier and you give them your name and your address, and they'll tell you how much it is, and you get a receipt. So, but I apologize for the bills not coming out on behalf of the department on time.
Okay. Anything else to add? Makita, you seem to...
It was just to reiterate what Ms. Keynes was saying. Yes, you know, sometimes we have hiccups and things do happen. We always try to encourage the customers to call and update your account by putting your email address onto the account. Once you have provided that information, we can send your e-bill. So the same time we do the billing, when we print, your bills are automatically sent to your email. So then that will speed up the timing when you would receive. The email is the exact replica of the bill. It's just going to your email, so you'll be able to see your usages as opposed to waiting for 2 weeks or a month for your physical bill.
Okay, and who do they call to provide the email address to?
You can call 467-1005, that is the main office, and you speak to customer service or inquiries.
467-1447.
Okay, so We spoke about the bills and we spoke about querying, etc. But we seem to have another caller on the line. Caller, we hear from you. Welcome to the water line.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome to Waterline. Good morning.
Good morning.
Wonderful program. Now, I want to commend you all, meter readers. I believe that they do a wonderful job.
Well, thank you.
Because empty land checking, when they're looking for me animals, them, because, you know, how we gonna know that we got with part animal, you know, house, like they, and all those things. And I just see them, they're looking for meters. Sometimes the lady there, sometimes I have to help her find some of the meters, them and all. So I believe that they do a wonderful job. But what happened to some of our people? Some of our people, when they get a water bill, or even the electricity bill, they try to slide it. They don't watch pen it. They don't see what the amount of money pen it. So yeah, I was telling the lady the same thing. She said, right, man, when money come, me pay. I said, when money come, me pay. But you go look on the bill, you see the amount of on the bill. You understand? You got to see where you're born. And this is the thing. And the other I was talking to some livestock farmers too, especially those who got cattle, like me. Now, and those who got 10, they got it enough, they got them in a farm. I tell them what where we farmers going to do now. Because we getting less rain now. And I tell them that plain, that what we should think we should do, build a tank or something on your farm, and when the rain comes, let the water let we store water, build something to store water, that you can, if we get much rain, you always get water. Because most of the farmers, not because they're in the mountain, they got to get the water down in the land to head up the water in a truck or whatever to the mountain to put it to store up there to the cattle to get water to drink. So I was telling the farmers when rain fall, that now that you wouldn't got to head up the water, you wouldn't got to catch the water and head up. You would always got water up there. So I hope the farmers don't listen to me, because I was discussing with some of them the other day, and you know, they tell me they got problem with water. Sometimes in the area the water the water running fast enough to pull up the drum where they heading the water into, and all those things. So I tell them that we don't got to work out something for ourselves. We can't depend on the water department for everything. We got to work out our own little situation. Anyway, nice program as usual. Continue to listen.
Thank you, caller. Now, the caller spoke to something about people that he knows who sometimes suggest that they just pay a little something. They don't open the bill, they just pay a little something. Tell us the impact that has on the department. Paying a little something. Not that their account is not necessarily in arrears, or maybe it is, but they figure that it's a nominal amount, whatever it is. I'm used to paying $35. I suspect that the bill is $35. Outside of the impact that has on the customer at the end, what does that mean for the department?
It means a lot, because customers have to realize that there's a cost to getting the water to them. It's to getting the water is a cost, to maintaining the facilities, to repairing the lines, the tanks that store the water. Over time you have to repair those, you have to clean those, and it's looking after the water is a 24-hour business in terms of getting water to you, making sure the water is clean, it's potable, it's good for use, and also at the source where we get the water, we have to make sure that the area is clean, everything is done properly. So, you know, sometimes people say like, oh, because it's government, they feel like it's just like it is free and there's no cost, but it is not that way. That is not a good way to think.
As well as you have to pay yourself.
Yeah, we are providing a service and there's a cost to it, and you know, as you see now, it's a drought and it's difficult, and we're looking at ways to get water to people. We have to pump more water now. That comes at a cost. We have to try to source more wells, and there's a cost to it. And if you realize the water rates have been this way for almost 20 years at $20, so we haven't really put any strain on the public as such in terms of the extra cost that it is affecting the department at this time. So that's why we encourage people to pay a bill on time, and try to, pay outstanding balances. You can come to the office if you have issues updating your account in terms of your balance. We have payment plans. You can come and sit down and have a discussion with us. We can show you ways in which you can get your account up to date over a period of time. And that's why sometimes, even though sometimes the probably can say, oh, they're doing disconnections, but these are ways that we're trying to remind persons that yes, you have to pay your bill on time. There's a cost to it to provide the service to you. And also, you find most of the customers, as we spoke before, that we use for disconnections, they have high usage and they're being delinquent, plus they have leaks. So the water is wasting. They're not even using it because there are leaks, but they're still not paying. So these are things we have to put in place to try to, cut out these kind of behaviors that have been going on for a very long time.
Okay. Do we have any other callers on the line? We seem to have another caller on the line, so we'll hear from that caller. Caller, welcome to the water line.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I have a concern on this matter. I have reported more than once, and I have even reported it on your talk show. Down at Low Market Street, where there is a lock valve for the water department or the government. One the valve they put on your water line. In case they turn off your water, they can put a lock in it and lock it. Just outside the Holy City Church, on the sidewalk. There is one that is leaking for some time now. Right? It's leaking that long that the sidewalk is now gathering moss. It has gathered moss. Now we put it this more than once. That needs to be checked because that's water wasting. That's my concern.
Caller, thanks for your responsible mode of action to call us in again and let us know. We'll do our necessary follow-ups. Now, we spoke about payments and encouraging people to open the bill, encouraging people to ensure that they're monitoring their consumption, their usage. What are some of the convenient ways in which persons can pay? I think you would have given some insight already, but just to remind customers.
Sure. Well, we are proud to say that we offer an online portal. So it is at www.water.gov.kn. You can go to that water portal and you can pay your bill online. That is a direct portal for us. I know some of the younger generation prefer to do more banking. So they go on and they pay their bills through their app. That information will come to us the following day because, it's a process. With our online portal, it just takes a couple of minutes. And if you do not, usually we send a verification email where it shows your receipt and a number. Some people, they have complained that they do not get it. It's fine, you can just call us and we can go on our portal and we can verify if the information is here, just so that you do not duplicate the information.
Okay.
As you know, our main office is located at Needmus, but there's still a lot of people that do not know that we have another option where we can pay our bills, which is in town at the General Post Office. So you can pay your bills and you can do slight inquiries at the General Post Office.
Okay. All right. I was about to get to that, to ensure that we still have cashiers for persons
yes,
not tech savvy, or some persons don't necessarily trust the using their card and the online systems. They prefer to stand in a line, see a person process it, and get their receipt in their hand.
Yes.
Even though you can get a receipt, you can always print your receipt from online.
Yes,
but some persons are still a little bit apprehensive as it relates to the technology.
That is still here for you.
We still have the cashiers.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know. Now, and you spoke as well to the convenience of having a location in Bastille, downtown. So for persons who did not know that, you can use the cashiers or even make inquiries at the General Post Office, which is more convenient for persons in the downtown area or coming from the west side. Now, you receive your bill, you use all the convenient ways of making your payment, but then you suspect that something is off. I come into the department, I make my query, there's confirmation, refund policy. What is the department's refund policy? What is the procedure? What do I need to present, if anything, to the department to get my refund?
Well, if you come to the department for refund, you sure have to have your bill, and your identification, but we do make a check payable to the registered name on the account. So like encourage persons to update the account. Sometimes the account is not in that person's name at the time who lives in the property and is coming to make the query. Sometimes the person is deceased. So it's very important for customers to update their account, especially in situations like this, because the check will be payable to the name that is on the account. Okay. And all your funds will be collected at the Treasury Department.
Okay, so does the customer service division have any future goals as it relates to improving the service for its customers? What do you have in the pipeline?
Well, yes, we are looking at ways in which we can reach our customers and improve our service. We had discussions about having our own app where the customers can have up-to-date information about their account, their payment history, their usage at their fingertips, and they can also go in there and pay their bills as well. We looked at introducing smart meters as well, and these smart meters, you could detect leaks. You can it registers every drop of water that comes through the pipe, and more accurate and timely readings. For example, just the meter reader wouldn't have to go to every household. They just drive down on the street with the cell phone on the device, and it picks up all the readings on all the meters, and that information goes back to the office by just a click, and it is computed, and then you can get your bill as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So those are things we're discussing.
One question: can it turn off my electricity like Sharena in Sandy Point?
Your water.
My water, sorry.
You're hoping you can say soon, Alexa, turn off my water.
So you can shut me down where I am if I don't pay my bill on time.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. That's progressive. Okay, well, we're almost at the top of the half an hour, and so we'll end here for today. And as we close, of course, we'll want to leave our usual water tip, and that is for you to reuse your water. Used water from the kitchen sink or the shower is often suitable for other purposes such as irrigation, meaning you can use it to water your plants, water your vegetables. Fresh, clean drinking water is yours to use whenever you need it, but not to waste. It is too valuable. Following our conservation tips can save you thousands of gallons of water and save you money too. Be alert. If you see water being wasted in your home, tighten up. If you see it being wasted elsewhere, speak up. The St. Kitts Water Services Department takes this opportunity to thank you, its loyal customers over the years, for your dedicated service and support. In an effort to improve the efficiency of our service, we are happy to introduce our new e-billing initiative. To benefit from the reduced waiting period of the receipt of your bills, we encourage customers to contact the Water Services Customer Service Division at 467-1005. Remember, you can also save yourself the hassle of finding parking and the time to stand in long queues by paying your water bill on our website, www.water.gov.kn. We remind you that for inquiries, please contact us at 467-1005 or 467-1447, or you can even email us at water.services@gov.kn. We want to thank all of you, our loyal customers and our loyal listeners, for choosing to join us this morning on the Waterline. Thanks to those of you who called and engaged in meaningful discourse, whether it was to ask a question or make a suggestion or even to file a complaint. We thank you for your continuing to propel us to continue our duty to not just be a service provider, but to be a quality service provider. As we sign off, we hope that you will join us again for our next edition of the Waterline on Wednesday, 14th August. Thank you.
Water is life, 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 life. Water is life, 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 life. Do just one thing.
Every drop count. Make sure you check for leaks leaks around your house every day. Every drop come. When brushing your teeth, don't let the water run away. Come save the water, the water. Preserve the water, the water right now. Every drop come. Save the water whenever you take in your shower. Every drop come. Make saving the water your business every hour. The water, the water, the water, the water right now. It's up to me and you and you and you and you. The water right now.
Do just one thing.